Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. 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 Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad Gīte Bhavadveshinim Namostu te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Thotra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsah Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sottirna Khalu Pandavairana Nadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachas Saroja Mamalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutastun Vanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangapadakramopanishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Welcome to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. We are studying the 13th chapter of this scripture. The 13th chapter deals with Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the differentiation of the knower from the known. The knower is the self within, and the known is this universe that we live in. The technical meaning of Kshetra means farm or land. It can also mean property. So this is the property that we live in, this body-mind complex. And within this lives the Kshetrajna, the knower of this body-mind complex. And therefore, Sri Krishna is trying to tell us, first know who you are, that is the external being, and then try to know who is the being within you. Once you are clear about these two things, then you won't have any confusion and your life will become a blessing and not a curse. The question that we naturally ask is, I know about myself. What is there for me to know about myself? No, it is not so. Whenever I say I associate it with something that is external to me. The body is not mine. I associate it with me because I have come so many times in this world. Through millennium I have come several times. And each time I had a different body. That is to say, I was only leasing bodies at different times. We have been leasing it, that's all. And then claiming that it is ours. It was never ours and it will never be ours. We just hire it for a little time and then think that it becomes, it is our very own and we get attached to it. So Sri Krishna is trying to impress upon us this subject, that no, the difference between the knower and what is known, that is the kshetra and the kshetrajna and the kshetra. If that becomes very clear, then all the trials and tribulations that come to us, whether it be the physical trials that come to us or the mental trials and tribulations that we encounter, all of them will become resolved in our own life, in lifetime. It becomes resolved. But it is a sadhana, it is a continuous practice. This differentiating between the knower and the known. This has to be always be differentiated. That's what Sri Krishna is telling us. In the past we have studied up to the 15th verse, and from the 16th verse he reiterates what he has spoken before. I'm not going back because some of you have studied the ones before, but the gist is all given in the next two verses. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha tagnyeyam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. He, the Brahman, whom aspirants seek to know, is the impartible whole. That is, it's inclusive of everything. See, there is the good, there is the bad, and there is also the negligent thing. Everything is there in him. So it is up to us to choose what is essential for us, what is good for us. According to our karmas, we choose. We will come to that part a little later. So he says, Avibhaktam, he whom the aspirants seek to know is the impartible whole. Where is he not? God is everywhere. He is in the lowest of the low. He is in the sand. He is in the atom. He is everywhere. Only we need to recognize that. That's what he says. Yet he does not seem to dwell in all beings as if divided into many. See, he does not seem to dwell in all. That is, we do not see or perceive the presence of the divine in everything. Can I perceive the presence of the divine in this microphone that I am using over here? I do not, because I think that these are made out of atoms and of course with the different materials, and I think that that the divine is not there. But is he not there? He is very much over there. That's why we had this illustration in the Bhagavatam, in the here in the Prahlada Charitra, in the life of Prahlada. Prahlada, the Hiranyakashipu asks him, for those who do not know the story, Hiranyakashipu, his father, wants that his son should recognize him alone, that is Hiranyakashipu alone, as the divine, as the supreme, and not Vishnu whom or Narayana whom he was worshipping. And Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry with Prahlada. He tries to kill him using various methods or means, but God saves him at all times. Therefore, Hiranyakashipu then becomes filled with rage, and in the courtroom he asks his son, is God here in this pillar? And Prahlada immediately says, yes, father, he is also in this pillar. So can you show him to me? Yes, he is there. If you want to see, you look at it. And in a great rage, Hiranyakashipu takes his big mace and then he hits at that pillar, and out of it comes the divine in the form of both man and lion. So it is to say that there is no speck of dust where he is not. He is there everywhere. Only we need to recognize it, that's all. He is in the good, he is in the evil, in everything that he is there. Only our recognition must be there. And sadhana, spiritual practice, is this effort to remove the veil of the what I see as I am seeing it now, and go deeper into it. Just as they gave that example, you need to hit at the pillar and then see what is inside it, and the divine alone is inside it. That is the idea. So here in this verse says, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. He seems to be divided into many, but he is one alone. He is the generator and supporter of all beings and their devourer too. See, in Vedanta or in Hinduism, we see the functionality of the divine. Srishti, Sthiti, Vinasha. Srishti means creation or manifestation. Sthiti is maintenance, and Vinasha is destruction or dissolution. People will do shudder at this word, destruction. Why should God destroy? It is His sweet will. Who are we to question whether He should destroy or He should not? Because it is all His. A child, you give the child a toy, and the child will play with the toy with great affection, and after some time the child will also destroy the toy, which children do. So you cannot say that they should not, but that is how some children, they open up all the parts of the toy and then they look into the mechanism of the toy. Later they become great engineers, and that experience of them opening that up, which the parent will look at it as destroying it, but it is also a method of learning. So destruction is also essential, and srishti sthiti vinasha. So that's what he is saying here. Grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. He is the one who is the consumer, and he is also the consumed. He is also the one who is eating, and he is also the one who is eaten. That is why we have that very famous verse which we all chant before eating: Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. One cannot find a better verse than this at all in any of the scriptures. Brahma arpanam. Brahma arpanam. Do you know the ladle that you use for eating, for serving the food, is also Brahman. It is also the divine. Brahma havihi. The oil or the ghee that you use for cooking in your meal is also Brahman. Brahma agnau. Where does it go after cooking the meal? It goes into the fire that is in the stomach. See, its stomach, the fire in the stomach consumes what it has cooked. It itself has cooked, as fire it has cooked, and then as fire it is eating. Agnau brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Where does it all go? It goes to Brahman alone for appeasing the hunger of Brahman. Brahma karma samadhi. One who can realize this in the innermost meditation will realize that everything is indeed Brahman. The eaten and the eater, both are the same. So, Grasishnu, Prabhavishnu cha. See, it, though avibhaktam cha vibhakteshu, though it appears as divided, yet it is not divided. And the stock example that is given in Vedanta is that when you try to divide water in a vessel into two parts, by keeping, when we do homa or havan, we are required to make three parts by using the darbha or the grass, and we make it into three parts for prana, apana and vyana. So we take one part and say this is the right part, and the left part is the left side is the left part, and the middle is the center part. So we take from each of them. They seem to be divided into three parts, but is it divided? It is not divided. Yet it appears to be divided. We all seem to have been divided, but we are not divided. We are indeed that one same spirit, manifesting as different, in different forms, just like the right or left or middle, that's all we have been manifesting. But our basis is the same. This is being expressed here. Microcosm and the macrocosm are all the same or built on the same plan. Swami Vivekananda had this wonderful experience while he was traveling in the Himalayas near Almora. He had this great experience under a peepal tree there, and he said he found that what is there is here itself. What is in the microcosm, what is in the atom, is in the whole of the universe itself. So everything is there. The essence is the same. That is the idea. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu. Sri Ramakrishna mentions in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he says, I saw a holy man looking at the clouds appearing and then disappearing. Suddenly in clear skies, he sees that appearing and disappearing. This threw his mind, Sri Ramakrishna says, this threw his mind into rapturous wonder. So he says, Brahman, the divine, is contentless consciousness like the clear sky. As clouds appear in the sky, the universe appears with its being and again disappears. See, we take, for example, when we are in great stress, when we are having a lot of issues in our life, we think that we are unable to solve them and that the life becomes unbearable for us. But can we take this example into our life and say, my mind is like that the sky, and that all these trials and tribulations that are coming to me are like the clouds. They cover the sun for a little while and then they disappear. So why give so much of importance to those issues which are troubling me than giving much importance to the placidity of my mind? That means the sky that is behind me. Sky is just an example. So we need to do that. We need to imagine that all these are nothing but clouds. They come and disappear. What has been a great problem at one time will appear of no consequence to us after some time. So that is the meaning of this verse over here. In the 17th verse, he continues the same theme. Jyotisham apitat jyotihi tamasah paramuchyate jnanam neyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya tishtitam. The self-luminous light of consciousness, revealing even all that is luminous. The self-luminous light of consciousness, revealing even all that is luminous. He is beyond obscuration by the darkness of ignorance. He, the light of knowledge. He, the quest of knowledge. He, the way to whom is knowledge, in the innermost recess of all beings, is He that's established. Some examples to clarify this is given here. Jyotisham api tad jyoti. Jyotisha means here things that are having illumination or light. So what are the things that have illumination in the world for us? The sun illumines. The moon, when the sun is not there, the moon illumines everything. And then if there is no sun or moon, the stars are there. And then if nothing is there, if it is dark, we light up a fire. When we are in the bush, we just light up fire so that we can see around or cook something. And then, of course, when we are within the house, when we are not outside, there is the electricity which illumines the place. So, Jyotisham api tad jyotihi. That light which illumines all of these lights, that is the illumination that is behind all of these lights. Atman is the only thing that needs to be known. Jnanam, jneyam, jnanagamyam, radi sarvasya tishtitam. Jnanam means that knowledge is to be understood, known. This knowledge that the light that is giving illumination to all these other things is indeed within myself. That is one thing which has to be understood. So Atman, that is Atman or the self, is that which gives illumination to everything. If you take it in the universal sense, cosmic sense, it is Brahman which is giving illumination to the whole universe. So, jnanam, jneyam, jnanagamyam, ridi sarvasya tishtitam. This is a very important part that he says. Where is it to be seen? Where do I see the source or experience the source? That is ridi, within one's own being. Look at your heart, not just your head, the brains, but look at your heart and you will see the source of all peace there, the source of all joy over there. So go deeper and deeper into your own heart. That is the idea. Ridi sarvasya tishtitam. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that in those days when Sri Ramakrishna was on the earth, there was this zamindari system, or the landlord system was there. So if you wanted to go and meet the landlord would come to the drawing room. See, there used to be the inner apartments where only women used to live, and there used to be the outer apartments where only the workers and others could meet you. But there was the very fashionable drawing room. So, and most of the time the master of the house would spend his time there, sitting in the drawing room. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you want to meet the owner of the house or of the estate, what do? You go to the drawing room. Somehow you get into the drawing room and you will see that he is seated over there. In the same way, the heart is the drawing room of the Lord, the divine. The heart is the drawing room of the Lord. So once you go and meet him, everything becomes known. Tasmin tushte jagat tushtam prenite prenitam jagate. Tasmin tushte. If he is pleased, the divine is pleased, everything becomes pleased. So Sri Ramakrishna again and again used to say, first know God, then everything will be known. It is no point just trying to know everything. And of course, he used to give the other example also, that if you, a landlord or a zamindar has got lots of orchard is a big orchard, and if you want to know how many trees, how many mango trees he has, how many coconut trees he has, how many other trees he has, instead of you going and counting all of the trees, go to him directly and ask him what is all. He will reveal everything to you. In the same way, if you want to get answers to our questions that are bothering all the time in our life, we need to go into the recesses of our heart, the drawing room of the divine that is within us. Go and sit there for a little while and ask these questions. Why and how all these things are happening in my life? Can you give me some solution? And right there you will get the solution for all your trials and tribulations. So Jyotisham api tat jyoti. He is of the nature of this very light. Tat jyotihi. Tamasah param uchyate. He is beyond obscuration by the darkness, by darkness of ignorance. When there is darkness, we can't see anything that is near. So the importance of knowledge or self-knowledge is being impressed over here. Sarvasya Ridhi Tishritam. Where is he? Sarvasya Ridhi. This is a very important point that we need to know from this verse. Sarvasya. He is there in all beings, not only in me. He is also in the perpetrator's heart. He is there. Only the perpetrator does not see him, and I see it because I am the sufferer. So within you, go within yourself and then ask this question, why is this happening to me? And is there any solution for it? Yes, there is always a solution for it. There is always the light shown on your problem within yourself. Radhi sarvasya tishtitam. Another point that we can note over here, Radhi sarvasya, in this, when we read this phrase called sarvasya Radhi tishtitam, in the hearts of all, we should remember Swami Vivekananda's great saying, each soul is potentially divine. Don't assume that the other person, whoever, if a person is trying to harm us or if a person makes our life miserable, don't think that there is no divine in him. It says each soul is potentially, there is the potentiality, the seed is there in that person. Only the seed has been covered with so much of dirt and dust, and that there is that the water that is life-giving energy is not going into that person, and therefore it is not manifesting. That person is not able to manifest that. Instead, he is manifesting all other traits which he has accumulated or acquired throughout his life, in this life as well as in past lives. So each soul is potentially divine. Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvato kshishiro mukham sarvata shrutimaloke sarvam avritya tishtati. In this Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says this. Sarvatah panipadam, his feet and his hands are everywhere. Sarvata akshi, his eyes are everywhere. He is seeing at all. He is seeing in all direction. His head is there. That means his presence is everywhere. Can't we just imagine that presence of the divine within the heart, within the heart center of our own being? This is something which the Bhagavad Gita urges us to do, instead of looking at the faults of the others, into the shortcomings of the others, as well as the shortcomings of my own self. We have studied in this Bhagavad Gita before that do not ever look down upon yourself. Bandhuhu atmanam bandhuratmat manastasya yenatmaiva atmanajitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvate. If you think that the enemy, you are your own enemy, that you are no good and that you are lacking in anything, then you will keep on harping upon it and you will become like that. But on the other hand, if you can appeal to the divine that is within yourself and say, look, the God, the divine is within me. Why should I bother? Why should I worry? He is within me and therefore I have the strength to overcome this. I shall overcome. I shall overcome. And these are some of the words or phrases that we can use in our life. I shall overcome this. Or the other word from the Christian saints is, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This will all go away. One day it will all go away. Nothing is going to be there permanently in our life. That is something which we need to understand. All these verses, they direct us towards the self-knowledge, that is the knowledge of the self within our own selves, not in outside of ourselves. Try not to look outside, but look into the self within. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam niyam choktam samasataha madbhakta etat vijnaya madbhava yopapadyate. Thus has been briefly expounded what the kshetra, that means the material nature, is, as also what constitutes knowledge and the object of knowledge. My devotee who understands these verities becomes worthy of my state. See, one needs to understand this. That in the philosophical realm, Sri Krishna has explained in so many verses the meaning of kshetra. From verses 13 to 17, he has mentioned this. What is the kshetra? That is the house or the form, that is the body. And in this body we grow the varieties. Let us take this body, this as a farm or a garden. And in this we till the land, then we sow so many seeds, and then we reap the benefits of the seeds, that is the fruits of those seeds. Or the crop is reaped in this very body. So all these are our daily activities. Every day we use this body and this mind, and we either pluck sweet fruits or we pluck sour fruits. It is up to us. We do both of this in our daily life. Sometimes sweet, sometimes sour. So both are essential, there is no doubt. But one who knows the proper technique of looking after this form of the body and the mind, he is the real knower, he is the Jivatman, or the individual soul. And this individual soul gathers all information accumulated through various lives and uses them in the present body. But even this Jivatman, this individual soul, also wants to have further knowledge about its own identity, its own origin. So the soul then tries to acquire the knowledge of the divine self. Who am I? That question is kept on asked by this individual soul. So characteristics of this seeker is described in the Bhagavad Gita, of course. And in order to know this, we need to have qualifications. See, for anything, if I have to enter into a class, I need to go through certain qualifications. First of all, there must be a desire to know. If there is no desire to know, there is no desire to learn, there is no point in going to the school at all. First, there must be that intense desire within myself to know. So Sri Krishna, he says here, Mad Bhaktaha. What does he say? First of all, what you should be? Mad Bhaktaha etat vijnaya. First you become my devotee. Now, this term devotee can be explained from 3 points of view. One is from the point of view of the non-dual non-dual philosophy, Advaita. So, in the non-dual philosophy, the knower, the person who is trying to know, becomes the known. He and his object becomes one. That is what it is. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati, says the Upanishads. Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman, becomes Brahman. The knower of God becomes the divine. That is the Advaitic point of view. So he is also a bhakta, that means a devotee of this knowledge. And then the second is that the seeker imagines himself or herself as a part. I am a part and God is the whole. This is Vishishta Advaita philosophy, the qualified non-dual, the qualified monism philosophy. So in that philosophy it says that there is the ocean and there are the waves that come out of the ocean. So the sadhaka, or the aspirant, imagines himself as a part, a wave, and not as the ocean itself. Whereas in the first, one imagines oneself as the ocean itself. Whereas in the second, Vishishta Advaita, one imagines oneself as a part. I have the qualities of the divine, but I am not the divine. That is the second version of a bhakta or a devotee. The third is that he or she chants the name of the divine, meditates upon the divine, purifies himself or herself, and says, God, you are the supreme and I am different from you, but I want to enjoy my existence, my own individual existence, and just think of you as the divine who is bestowing your grace and blessings towards me. That is the dualistic philosophy. God up there in the heavens, you are governing me, you are looking after me, and here I will do whatever I want to do, but ultimately I want your grace, your blessings. That is the bhakta, that is the dualistic philosophy. All the three, Sri Krishna says, all the three are welcome here. So Bhagavad Gita is such a scripture which gives equal importance to all philosophies and choose what is most adaptable, what is most possible for you, most appropriate for you. So he says here, Mad Bhava. Mad Bhava means becoming one with me. Does not necessarily means that you merge into myself according to some, but according to some it means that you and I are one. You become me. That is the idea over here. Mad bhakta etad vijnaya mad bhavaya upapadyate. Mad bhavaya, for my state. You become fit to become me, or to attain to that state wherein you will know who I am. You will realize who I am, the divine, and then you will become one with me. So here we will, in the next verse, Sri Krishna takes up another subject of Prakriti and Purusha, which is very similar to Kshetra and Kshetrajna, but we will take it up when we meet after 2 weeks. Next week we have an important satsang over here, and we will have a special talk by a very renowned personality next week, and we will be sending invitation to everyone about that. Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogiridhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavapayaharam सर्वलोकैकनाथम् ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।